Okay, so you can see here, I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. I want 3 more of these cards, because then that will bring it down to boom, boom, boom. That will bring it down to about here. And then I can make a little pocket down here and put a tag in it to hold everything closed. I think. No, because this one, it would have to be a pretty tall tag. So, okay. But I do want more of the little cards. So I thought I'm going to go ahead and cut down the center here, and I'm going to leave this section for this page. So I'm going to have to get very creative. I've got these 2 little strips. These are the barcode strips that I will put on each end to help make up some of the difference. And then I'll show you what I'm going to do. But first I'm going to go ahead and cut off this section. And I do want this to be exactly the same as these. So I will make a mark. Let me put this right to the end here. And then I'm going to make a mark on this side as well. And right there. Okay, I don't want to waste a bit of that I need to have for the background. All right, that looks good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut these down. Okay, so here we go. Now, I haven't inked any of these either. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this right down the center. It is 3 inches, so I'm going to cut it at 1.5 inches. Just going to put it right here on my 1.5 inch line. Make sure it lines up all the way up, and I'm nice and even. And it moved. Sometimes this can be very aggravating, and other times it can be quite rewarding. Oh my goodness. Okay, so now I've got these 2 cut. And I can leave little spaces, little itty bitty spaces in between each one of these. See, there's my mark. There's that. So it will go, get the belly band. It will go under the belly band, but then every time you put it in, if you go from this end, you're liable to hit this and have to really maneuver it, or vice versa. You're going to hit this. So, let's get us a piece. Not that one. Let's get us a piece. Thought I had a long... Is that the right width? I think it is. Does that go both top and bottom there? Yeah. Okay. So I am going to... I think, okay, first thing, I'm going to measure this. cut. Put this second one behind. And I'm just going to make sure on this side that that's going to work for me. Yes, so I'm going to go ahead and cut both of these at the same time. Find my mark. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh, that's it. Okay. I saw it and I said, no, that's a mark on the paper. It belongs there. It doesn't. How many times have we all done that? Okay. So there we go. Keep these strips. So I am first, let's up. I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to ink everything and I'll be right back. Hello, all my little chickadees and chickadettes. I don't know how that would be for guys. Probably not using the word chick at all would probably be better. Anywho, okay, I just wanted to show you because I've got half, well, a little bit more than half of one of these that I have been using, and I'm going to use this as the closure. So I was just going to explain really quickly how I did it. So you have your platform, and I have to put these two little chunks of paper in there, and you have your first plastic panel. I'm sorry, I can't even think of what the stinking word is. Okay, and so then you take a piece of paper and you lay it on your piece, and then you figure out where you want this to be, and anywhere that it hangs off over the edge will not cut. So that is exactly how I did this one. There's the end of it, and I just put this like this and ran it through. Okay, then to get the second one, I took my first one and I cut, and I put it, I put my paper down. So I'm going to go back over this one. I put my paper down, so it's a new paper, and I put this down like so to make sure I had it where I wanted it. And then I kind of laid this on it, and then as I knew is where I wanted it, I would just move that out of the way and lay that down. You can do it however you might have an even better notion than I do. So, but just remember, whatever hangs off of the base and your bottom plate is not going to cut. So whatever cuts is what you're actually laying on your plate, and then you make sure that your top plate lines up perfectly with the other one. I mean, if it's off a little bit, doesn't matter. It's whatever is against that bottom plate is going to cut. Okay? So I did 2 of those, and you do want to make sure that you're going to be able to put them together and that they're going to work properly. And then I took my ruler, because I don't want this piece. I'm going to line this back up again. Line it up perfectly. Well, as good as we can get it. And then I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to put a little mark all the way down. So then I know that I want that piece off. And then I'm going to take, now this one we're going to do, I want to have this cut right where my little strip comes all the way across on here, where this, whoops, hello, put this back in my hand. This little strip where that ends right there, I'm going to make a mark on both sides, and then I'm going to cut the paper that way. So let's line this up, and we're going to make a little mark here and a little mark here. Okay, so first let's get rid of this. Wonderful. And then I am going to, let's see, do I want to do it this way? Yeah, I think so. Okay, so I'm going to line this up from the mark and cut it off. Perfect. And I'm using the edge of the paper because I do know that that is straight, and making sure that I am cutting it so that it is a nicer straight piece of paper. Up. Okay. All right. So there. So now we have that. All right. And these we may use for something, so I'm just going to put those over in my I'm going to keep it pile. Little housekeeping here. Okay. Got a couple little things I got to pop out of this one. And now this one is going to be my bottom one because it's not as clean as this one. So this will be the top. I am going to put, now where is my, here it is. I am going to put this butterfly as best I can in there and cut it where you're not going to be able to see it except for in the center. I think, I don't know, that might just be a little too funky. I think I'm going to have to find something else because it's not really centered. And I would rather have it centered. But it's just cut off enough where that ain't going to work. So we'll figure something else out for the center. But go ahead and get these done. And I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do with this. And then we are going to start putting things together. All right, guys, I'll be back in a second. Okay, I just wanted to show you really quickly. I've gone ahead and figured out that I want to have this for to work as the pretty in here. So I'm going to take my pencil and let's see if I turn it this way. I think I can get it a little bit more. I don't want the words in there because they don't fit in there nicely enough. So I am going to move it up towards away far enough so that I don't have the words in there. And then I am going to just draw on the outside of the piece so that I can have a background to fill in all of the holes, and that you'll be able to see the nice pretty pink. And draw the line back here so I can make sure. All right, and then I'm just going to cut around that inside the line, but not too far because you've only got, you know, a small 1/8 of an inch all the way around before you're going to be able to see paper. All right, so that's how we're going to do that. So find your center for yours or whatever. If you just want to use this card, if you don't have a die cut, just use a card whatever one makes you happy. There's Time Goes By, there's this one, there, you know, whatever you want. And then you would just attach a, whatever you wanted, but attach a, get a 1-inch strip, score it down the center, fold it, and make yourself a little hinge. And then you will need to back it because you'll need a magnet. So then you just find some backing paper. And then when it comes to putting it on, I will show you then, you know, if you're using one of the cards instead of like a die cut. Or you can use, just run some seam binding and tie it closed. So, but when we get there, we'll do that. But I wanted to show you how I was doing mine so you could do it if you wanted to. Okay, guys, back in a sec. Okay, I've got everything ready except I want to make another flap to go on here. Get that covered up. So I am going to, I want to make it just like a 1/16 of an inch shorter so people can actually see that there is another flap there. So I'm going to put it about that, and I'm going to make a mark where I'm going to put my score line, and I'm going to make my score line. And if you want to know, this is basically 3 5/8. I'm gonna, it's a little shorter than 3 5/8, about a 1/16 of an inch shorter, because I do want it a little shorter than my original flap. All right, so there's that, and now I'm going to measure over from a score line 1/2 inch and cut. Okay, and that I'm doing this in the gray paper. All my flips and flaps are in the gray paper, and pockets, other than pockets that are not part of the build, they're going on, if it's going on top of the decorative paper, then it's usually the green. All right, so there's that, and this should be just right, and it is. Let me, I'm just getting that one little spot where I didn't quite get a nice fold in that 1/8 of an inch. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to glue this down. Wakey wakey glue. And I am going to just trim a little bit of this off. So reason that I did that is because then when I take the paper and put on there, it will cover this 1/2 inch flap and you won't see it. If you leave it straight, you will, if you turn it sideways, at least be able to see the layer of paper down, and it's just better to have a cleaner look, not be able to see all the mechanics that goes into the book, so to speak. All right, so right there is where I want it. And then I should be able to just go right down. And this needs to come down just a little bit. There we go. Make sure I felt like I just moved it. Let's open this up and burnish. There we go. And burnish. Okay.
All right. So now I am ready to start assembling everything, and I will have to pick out a few papers, but that's about it. So I have prepped my little piece here, so I cut it out so it fits in here, and I didn't do it because I was going to wait and do it with you. I mean, you have seen me do this before, but, and I am also, I decided that the next two, I wasn't going to do these big decorative pockets that I have the die for. I'm just going to make like a triple pocket or something using the scraps, because I have a lot of scraps and I want to use those up. I want to use those up. We don't need to have a lot of little leftover pieces. So that's why I changed the build from what I originally planned, because I am ending up with a lot of extra leftover small pieces. They're long, but they're small, so they you know, won't do much else. Okay, let's get this on here, and hopefully it will just line up. Yay, it did. First time, nothing hanging over. Isn't it lovely? Isn't it lovely? And then I'm just going to give it a little burnish. Just a little burnish. Okay. Now, and you see it's got the pretty paper on the back. If yours isn't double-sided, then maybe you needed to cut two of these out, because you will be able to see through the back, which is this piece right here. So we're just going to line that up, make sure everything's still working for me. There we go. Okay, now before we glue that down, we're going to put a magnet. And where did I go? Oh, yeah, I've got these little flowers that I'm going to glue over the magnet. I cut them out of this paper. Just a little fussy cutting. You could, like I said, you could put another piece of paper on there if you so desired. So you wouldn't have to, excuse me, you wouldn't have to do this. But I figured these two would, so I'm going to glue these down on top of each other first. Let's see. I think that will work, so let's just let that dry for a second. Okay. Now, I'm not going to put a lot of glue on the magnet part, because anything you put on the magnet is definitely going to not make it as, let's see, this is the way you're going to be looking at it. So when you flip it over, I just want the flowers to kind of be facing you. All right, so there we go. And it's really not going to have to go through but another piece of paper. All right, so now I am going to outline glue all of this. Because remember, that's all we're gluing down, because the center is, out of there. And then you're going to come all the way across here. If you're using this, or, you know, however you guys are going to do it. I told you I would tell you other things that you could do. So, I will show you those in just a moment. I think I need to pull that down just a smidge. That up, that over, and there we go. A little burnish. And I'm going to glue this down as well. Okay, and then I put right beyond where I was going to be gluing this down, I put a score mark, and I am just going to fold that score mark. Let's get this down. I'm just gonna fold it this way and fold it this way. And I see I have just a little bit of a pucker, or not a pucker, little piece that I inadvertently cut just a little too far, and I'm just going to snip those off. Okay. All right. Okay. So we've got our magnet there, and our first piece, whoopsie, that goes there. Our first piece is this one, I believe. No, it's that one. Okay, because this one's a little shorter. So let's see. I think I've got the blue. Okay. My husband is out there sneezing, bless his heart. So I think I'll use the clock. Yeah, I think that'll look very nice with the blue on the flower. So let me get this cut. Housekeeping. Housekeeping. So there's that. And that. So I am going to go ahead and cut this one off first. And then I cut right here. And so I'll have this big piece, and then I'll have this piece. All right. When you're short on paper, you always do want to. I'm sorry, I forgot to put my microphone on. It's been turned on, but just not on my body. But usually it picks me up pretty well. When you are, don't have that much paper, you do want to watch where you're cutting it. Definitely want to watch where you're cutting it, because if you're not thinking that through, you could end up with a bunch of tiny pieces and nothing going to help you except for doing a bunch of patchwork, which I love patchwork, but I don't want a whole book of patchwork. Okay, let's ink this up. And then underneath this one is going to be the magnet, but I'm not going to set this one down until I get the pocket okay. So this one I'm not going to set down. It's the one where the magnet's going to go. I'm going to first do this one here. This is the pocket.
So the first thing I'm going to do is actually place this on the pocket in the center. So let's see, we'll use right 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4. Okay, so over here, there we go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on this. You don't have to have this big of a, I mean, you can cut it to a 1/2 inch if you want, but I just figured since it's here, I'm going to go ahead and use it. And I am going to put it down on the edge and get it even, get this flap here even with the top of this top of the pocket. And then we're going to squeeze that down, give it a little burnishing. Watch out for some goopy glue. There we go. Nobody's going to see this part because now we're going to take this piece, which looks like I missed a little section right there, and we're going to glue this down. I hope I'm staying in frame. For my birthday, which is in May, I told my son, I said, I would love to get my camera set up so it would be super easy for me to move it around, to take it down, to, and he mentioned a monitor where I could see what was going on without having to try and look up at the, so I have an actual video camera that I do mine with. So it's got that little opened up thing and then it turns this way. So when I'm looking at it upside down and backwards, kind of. And I said, you know, it's just, sometimes it's hard. To make sure that I'm doing everything the way everybody needs the best for me, for them to see what I'm doing. Blah, my goodness, my words. I thought I had inked everything, but apparently I missed a few things. So I do apologize. Tried to be prepped and ready so it would be as short of a video as possible. But while we're all at home enjoying ourselves, I hope. My husband and I are both retired, so we're not having to really deal with what a lot of people are dealing with right now with this coronavirus stuff. And gosh, we'll be listening to these videos in a couple years down the road and going, oh yeah, I remember that coronavirus. Yeah, that was not fun. But necessary. Okay, so this piece, I just cut this down. I had it all the way, but since I'm putting a pocket on, I felt like, oh, I can cut that down and save some paper. So I just cut that piece off because it was just going to be wasted. So now I've got that to use someplace else, which made me very happy. I still have not opened up the second half of the book yet. And the second half of the book, I'm going to have these 2 pages to use because these are the 2 that I pulled out for the cover. So the second half of the book, I will actually get to play with those. Yay! Okay, there's that. Now this pocket, because I am not wanting to add any more bulk, I'm not going to put hinges on the sides. I'm just simply going to glue around 3 sides as thin as I can. And I will still, because of the size of the pocket, I'll still be able to get a nice tag in here. And anything that I do put in here, you will be able to see from the front. So it'll have to be something pretty. So we'll have to work on that one. But
Okay, now I'm going to stick this pocket down, and then we will figure out our placement for our magnet. And I'm just going to match this right up with the edges. There we go. Good. Okay. Perfect. All right, now we can close these up. I don't need that yet, but I do need this. There we go. Pull this little bad boy off of there, a little cover piece. Come on, there we go. Now, we want to make sure that this first one has an 1/8 of an inch gusset. So we want to make sure before we put the magnet down onto this flap that we have that 1/8 of an inch gusset standing up nice and tall and not being pulled to the side. All right? Because you don't want to lose that 1/8 of an inch gusset that you got in there. All right, so there we go. We've got that standing up nice and tall. And we're just going to bring this down, push. And then we're going to add a little bit of our score tape. And we're going to go ahead and put down our clock. So pull this up. Let's get some glue on this puppy and put her down. Let's get moving on this thing. So we've got the inner pocket with the waterfall that I'm getting ready to do next. And it's a waterfall on, oh, that was good. A waterfall on a belly band. So I think that will be kind of fun, a little bit different. There we go. Butamus. Okay, voila. And that's going to hold it all shut. Isn't that neat? So then you're going to have this open, open, and then you're going to open this. And now we're going to work on this page. And then we're going to kind of build back out again. Let me put this over here. So I have 2 strips, and these are about 1/2 inch, which in centimeters is 1.5 centimeters. Yeah, 1.5 centimeters. So that's what each one of these are. So we're going to start by gluing these down. And I have already inked all of this. And you see it's just the barcode on the back. I love when they give us these. Okay. And just laying those down, leaving a little gray line, both top and bottom, and on the one side. There we go.
and this other side. So that's going to kind of start building our page, which is going to help us with the next row that we're doing. Right here. Just try and make sure you're getting it on nice and straight. There we go. Good. All right, now the next pieces, and these are all just shy of 8.5, and 8.5. Where's my other ruler? 8.5 is 21.5 centimeters. Okay, so it's just a little shy of that, like 1 or 2 millimeters. Okay, so then you just do it whatever looks good on your paper, you know, with, if you like it. Now you can butt these up next to each other, or you can leave a gray line. I think for this, I'm going to butt these up, and that's when it comes really important that they're the same length. If they're not exactly the same length, just pull it out and leave yourself a little gray, or, you know, whatever color you use, but leave a little strip of your base page in there, and it will help hide. Plus, ink the sides and really kind of get the corners good, and it will help disguise that your paper is maybe just a teeny tiny bit too short. Now, if it's really short, you know, you'll have to make a call on that one, but I am going to go ahead and butt these up. And I'm doing this way because I didn't have enough blue paper to make it go around, because this blue diamond paper that I had all of the cards on it. And I didn't want to lose all of my cards, but I needed the blue paper. I really needed the blue paper. So there we go. So I just had this one strip, and I'm making it work. Okay, so there's that one. And actually, I am going to pull this back up, if I can. Just there. Because I want to put this in. So I'm going to find my center. Okay, so right about here. And I want to put this right on the edge of that paper. Okay, so I'm going to flip this around so I can really get a better eyeball at what I'm doing here. Okay, let's see. So we're about centered. I'm going to go ahead and glue the outside of this. I've already inked this, and I'm going to slide this under here and make it even. Just like that. And I probably should also have pulled this side up. Okay, got way too many things going on here. So let's see if we can get this up. Just need it up a little bit. Come on. That might be enough right there. And then that, I am going to, excuse me. I am going to move this score line down just a smidge more. So I'm lining up. I have one dark line down my scoreboard, and that helps for this particular reason. I want to make sure that I'm going to be straight, which this score line is straight, and I want to, where's my, there it is. I want to move this in just a little bit, and I'm going to move, so I'm moving my existing score line up onto the part that is solid and not into the groove, so that I can make a groove right next to it, because that is where it's going to be better on my paper. It kind of hangs a little bit low because I had it set to go from one end to the other end of the base page, and I don't want that now. So we're just going to fold that bad boy over. Kind of pull that down and get that new fold line. And let's burnish the new score line. There we go. And let's make sure that I pulled up enough paper to make it go through there. And this is another reason I was doing it this way, is because I don't want anything hooking. So now that I have that in, we can finish up. See, where is my other strip? Where's my other strip? Okay, I just had you. Honestly. Holy Hannah. Oh, here it is. Voila. Okay. So I am not going to glue down the bottom part. I'm just going to glue, leaving about a 1/2 inch down there unglued, so that I'll be able to get the belly band up underneath the paper. It's a little more work, but then you've got a free and clear, you know, normally you put a whole piece, you put the belly band and then you put the whole piece so it covers both of these, but I don't have enough of what I wanted to be able to do that. So I am just making it happen by doing it this way. Okay. Oh, and then, yeah, I didn't ink. I didn't ink there, so we're good. All right. And now I just grabbed a random piece of paper. You can grab any paper you want to use. You will not see this paper because it is definitely inside. It's, you know, you will not see it. But let's see, do I have a thinner piece? Yeah, I do have thinner pieces. They're just not long enough. So yeah, I think I'm just going to use this. And I'm going to butt this up against, get it where I can see. And so I'm going to cut right so that it will butt up against both pieces and hopefully not give us any banging up against each other. Let me re-glue that. Well, I'll re-glue that down when let me go ahead and get this cut. I want it right on that line and right on that line. All right, so let's see how well I did. And there's a nice little strip to keep for something. So we should be button up. Oh yeah, very nice. And that gives you one nice smooth surface. You could also build this onto a piece of paper and then do your fine-tune cutting and put it down. So either way. Now I'm going to leave about a 1/2 inch so that I can get the belly band down. And you don't have to worry about
coloring the edges on this because, again, nobody's going to be seeing it. It's just a placeholder to keep these papers from being able to grab hold of anybody. Grab hold of anybody. Yeah, that paper's gonna grab you. No, it's to keep it from your items that you put into the belly band. You don't want them to get tangled up on the page. So there we go. Good job. Oh, we're getting it so pretty. Let me finish gluing this piece back down again. There we go. All right, so now we're going to just take our belly band. We're going to pick up our papers and slide the belly band up underneath the papers. Voila. And now if you lift, get all that, and I'm going to slide back in here and get underneath and not above, underneath, yeah, that centerpiece, so that I'm actually gluing that down as well. And there we go. We have born a belly button. Woo, I am on top of my game today, girls. Okay, so I have all these cards, and I have already put my little hinge on there. So now I just need to figure out what I'm going to do. So, and these are about 3/8 of an inch long because I didn't have enough paper to give it a whole half an inch. So it's 3/8 and 3/8, which is 6/8, which is 3/4 of an inch. So these are 3/4 of an inch, and then scored in the middle, or I just folded them over, actually. So, and the belly band is the exact width of these papers, so they will be, all the same. I am not going to start right at the top. I'm going to try and leave myself a little bit. And let's put this down and see where we end up. You could do this with your ruler as well, but I think most people would prefer to. This isn't the order I'm going to put them down in. Not that I think it will make a whole lot of difference. But if I put all of these down, I just want to see where I'm going to end up. Okay, so I can move these. Maybe I'll do that. And I think I might put a little pocket that I can just slide this one into the little pocket, and that will keep it closed. Or I can put just a little flap. I think I'll do a little pocket. And then we'll put these down. So let's see. I can't do the pocket, I guess, until I get these. I love this one. I think this is going to be my bottom one. So, yeah. I love the little things you do. I love it. I love all of those. They're beautiful, but that one I really like. So, let's see where we're going to start these at. And you can start them anywhere you want to. If you want to center them, do that. I'm going to come just a little bit down off the top. I'm about 1/4 inch down, and then I'm lining it up on my paper
on my belly band, because this is all the same width. Okay, open it up, give it a little burnish, and then all you do is butt them up together. And open it up. There we go. Make sure I don't get any on the sides. Let's see. So I got the flowers. Let's do flowers. Let's do a saying. So my son has got a house under contract, and he is chomping at the bit to get into it. And I'm like, honey, it takes time. You just chillax. And he's blessed to have a job through all of this stuff that's going on right now. So he is definitely feeling quite pleased with himself, as we are. I tell you, sometimes as teenagers, you go, oh my God, what? Oh no, what's going to happen with this guy? Okay, so I do have two of the same flowers, kind of, but they're different patterns. So I'm going to, if I would have noticed, I would have put, I would have mixed them up a little bit more, but, they're still all very pretty. But I'll put the butterfly in between these two flowers, and then I'll use my little saying that I like as the last one. And these are going to hold smaller pictures, yes. Oh, now this one might be a little off. Come here. Oh, no, it was just me. User error. Ding, 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 ding. What else is new, right? Okay, butterfly. Let's see. Oh my goodness, I'm at 41 minutes. Well, I think I've done the hardest parts. The rest of it's just basically gluing paper down, so that won't be hard. If I could just work my fingers as fast as I can work my mouth, it will be great. Oh, so if you don't have cards, pre-made cards, just cut yourself a belly band of whatever size you want. And, do it that way. It all depends on the papers you have. If you don't have any cards at all, you can still make belly band with just the pretty decorative paper. Not, it's not any big issues. Oh, I just remembered something that I think I'll like doing instead of a pocket. I had thought about it and then I forgot about it. So, the only thing is it will leave an edge on the inside of the belly band, but I think we will be fine. Okay, so there is I got something on that. There we go. There's my waterfall, and it's got the pretty blue papers on the side. I love that they match here and these match here. So that's really pretty. It looks like I got one of them upside down. Not a big deal. I noticed, but maybe not everybody else will. Okay, and how I think I'm going to close this. Let's see. Actually, let's see here. Now this is supposed to be basically in the center of the page, but doesn't look actually like it is. Well, that's okay. That's okay. It's a little off the center of the page, but that's okay. So I am going to put a mark. I've got this piece of paper. I'm going to see if it'll work. It may not. It might have to be just a little bit longer. Because if I fold that over and fold that, yep, it'll work. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little mark on either side. I put it really light so it'll come off. I'm going to get my scoreboard. And I'm going to move away from the mark. At least one marking. One hole over. So like here's where my mark is. My mark is right in between two. So I'm just going to go to the furthest out that it's in between. Now, why are you doing that to me? There we go. So my mark is in between two slots. So I'm going to go to the farthest out slot and do this. And that will give room for all of this. In fact, I think I will go ahead and give myself another mark. I think I'm going to go ahead and do 1/8 of an inch on each side, but then I might not have enough. Well, let's try it. Let me go ahead and fold this. Let me put this away. At least off to the side for a moment. Go ahead and fold this. And fold this one. Make sure we're lining it up. And that is a little crooked. I'll cut this off. Just a little overhang here. There we go. Rest of it's great. So now I'm going to slide this under the belly band. And I'm going to cross over like this. And I totally, yes. Okay. So I am going to do the mark landed in between two slots. So I went to the furthest one out. Now I'm going to go to the one on the other side of the mark and get my little 1/8 of an inch bit. Okay, so now let's see how this works for me. Come here. I think I can put you up. Get my scissors over here, my ruler over here. All right, so let's slide this in and wrap it around. I have it upside down right at the moment. And I've got glue just rolling off my fingers. But I think this is going to work very nicely. Get that other little 1/8 of an inch in there. Fold it in. And that will give us room, because once you put the pictures on, you will have an issue with some space. So now it still is overlapping enough that I can get a magnet in there, or I can tie it closed if and I want to. Let's see what we're going to do now. Okay. There we go. Yes. That's very nice. I like it. Okay, even though I have it upside down. Gotta make sure that we don't mess that up. Let me get my eraser, and I've got a little, there we go, eraser right there. And the eraser marks that I made in here. All right, and I like the darker. You figure out how you want it, you know, which side go over which side. Get some magnets. Need 2, please. Thank you very much. And I'm going to take off. Oh, come on now. I'm going to put that right there. Yep, and that'll work just fine. And then I'm going to take this one off. And please make sure that your 1/8 of an inch gussets that you have are standing straight up when you push this down. And that you're even top and bottom. All right, so there we go. Now let's put a little bit of score tape on. And I think I'm going to use some of those strips that I have made. Let's see what's going to work. Let's see. I could put a little pink on there. Yeah, I think that'll look good. Little pink. Yeah. Okay, so we're just going to cut the pink the same length. That actually does not look very straight. Let me check this out. Yep, it's not. I'm just going to cut a little edge off of this. The one side is very straight and the other side is totally not. So there. Now, I'm going to put that there, flip her over, and give her a cut. The easy way to get it just the right height. And then I'm going to take this piece, line it up. And if any of it hangs over, you, of course, can trim it off afterwards as well. Put that back in there. So this one is going to be on this side. And I might actually leave a little space of gray because the magnet won't get covered if I put it right on the edge. So take off the score tape. Let's put some glue. Oh, let's ink. Ink. I think I got to re-ink that. These little ones are dry out, I guess, quicker. I'm not exactly sure. It's just because it's a smaller surface to suck the ink up. I'm not sure really, but I am finding that I'm having to re-ink this a couple of times already, and I'm not even through. Usually the larger ones, once I re-ink them, they kind of last for a whole project. So, all right. And I'm just kind of leaving glue off the center where the, okay, there's that. Where the magnet is going to go, I just don't put any glue there. I put it on the sides because I kind of would like for that to get glued down. But as long as it's close. Okay, there's that one. Take this one off. And the score tape being there will take care of anything that needs to get. All right, so here we're going to go right to the edge. Pull that down just a little bit. And that one was a little long, so I can just go back and trim that tiny little piece. There we go. All right. Again, you can make this as long, as long this way as you want. And now, do I want to glue this to... Let's see, let's pull this down a little bit. Right about there, so I can see the pretty picture, but it's holding that first one down. Now, do I want... I think I'm going to round the corners. And I think I'm just going to do the 1/4 inch corners. And then I do believe that I will... glue it down so it won't come out. So make sure I got it right way. Yes. You can't really read what the writing is, but you can tell up and down. And I'm just putting a little bit on there. Lift it up, slide it under, get it down so that you can see the majority of the top piece, and then make sure that you've got it where you can get your 1/8 of an inch gussets up. Okay, and then burnish it down. And that's just enough to hold it. And then you've got this nice little area here for a picture as well. So there we go. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Just helping that 1/8 inch get a little bit more defined. Okay, so now the next thing that we're going to do is my pockets. I have this piece here cut for here, and oh, for heaven's sakes, I didn't edge it. I am so sorry. I guess what I did last night worked, and we're about at an hour. I was hoping to have this done, but let's go ahead and build this and then we'll put it on. Okay, so I have my 2 pockets again. My first pocket I'm going to put down. And of course not. This was a piece of this really pretty, I love this paper. Love it. Okay, so there's that. Sorry, a little noisy. One thing, this glass mat is a little noisier than just having a cut self-healing mat. They're not nearly as noisy, but I really enjoy this. Okay, so we're just going to move this around a little bit so it's nice and straight on here, which right now it is not. Come on, get over. You're going to make me pull you up. I tell you, you get a little bit of play, but not much with this art glitter glue, which I enjoy because I want to move on to the next thing. I don't want to sit and wait for it to dry, especially when I'm videoing. But there are times when you want one that is not quite so quick drying. Okay. There we go. All right, now if you remember how we did these last time, I didn't, you know, and all you got to do is make a couple pockets. Get a piece of paper out, score it. Oh, we're doing it on this. Score it, lay it down, mark where you're going to score it, cut off the rest, leaving a 1/2 inch, fold those both over, glue them down. Boom, you got a pocket. These are just a little more decorative. So the bottom one is the one that you're really going to see. So that'll be like that. Now this top one, we need to open up the sides and the bottom. We're going to cut off the bottom because I do not want to close this one up. So I'm just going to take this piece off. Totally unnecessary. But bam! Bye-bye! And then we're going to figure out where we want the pockets to sit with each other. And I believe on the last ones, I had it a little bit above the bottom so that you could see a little strip of the paper. And then I brought this pocket up where we could have a nice little bit of paper here. And you could see a little bit of the top here. And I think right there is where I'm going to be happy with it. Now I do need to make sure that I have it straight. Take my pencil and right where the bottom pocket, where we have the flaps opened up, we are going to make a mark on the flap that's open, right where it meets up with the other pocket. Okay? Then we're going to cut right there, straight to the score line, and cut off, completely off the score line to the inside of your pocket, because you want to make this pocket slide into this pocket. Okay? So that's why we're doing this. And the part that we don't cut off will hook on the top of the front pocket. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to totally cut off the score line. Oh, come on. Totally cut off the score line. Oh, goodness. And cut. Okay, those are garbage. So now we're going to make sure that it goes in between those two. Might have to cut off a little bit more. Nope, it slides in there just nicely. And you'll see where it stops, right where it hits that pocket. And then you're just going to fold those over and you're going to glue this all down, just like that. However, we do want to get a little bit of decorative paper here. I'm going to cut off some of this pink. And it's a little cut down here, but that doesn't matter because you will not see it. And then just let's glue this on and let's just ink the top of it because that's all you're going to see. Ah, I am doing that over and over and over and over again. Okay, and we're just going to, we don't have to glue it all the way down, just to, so we're just going to put this right, leaving a little border on the top and the left and the right, just like we did with the other one. And just a little cheating. And then let's go ahead and get these lined back up. I don't know, that might need to get just a little bit more of this one. Let's do this side because that kind of hangs over. That's what's doing it, is this card I just put in hangs over a little bit on this side. Because I needed it to go from stem to stern here, but then you just want to cut it off, anything that's, oh, that's not over. Okay, so now it should fit back in there just nicely. Okay, so now we've got it slid in. This top is slid into the inside of these. We're going to fold them all over and we're going to glue them down. We're just going to glue them down all as one unit. And you want to make sure that you've got that pocket, this pocket pulled in to the edge of both of these pockets, of the top, you know, the outside pocket. Oh gosh, I hope I'm making sense. So, a little glue. I shouldn't be working on top of my paper that I'm going to be working on, but, you know. Okay, I don't need that. I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to make sure I've got this right where I want it to be. And then I'm going to place it down on my paper. Equal side to side and top, well, not top and bottom, but equal side to side, and get it even. Oh, that's not even. Oh, I see. I moved that around too much. Okay, so push this down just a little bit and get that. Okay, come on now, you should grab hold and stay. Okay, I do believe I did get that. Okay. And then, you know, you just want to go like 1/8 of an inch or 3 or 4 millimeters away from that side, as well as away from this side, and you'll get a nice tag. But we'll do the tags later. We're trying to get this done. So this is going to go down right here, and I did already ink everything. Lots of opportunities in this book for pictures. And I am always looking for the 4x6 pictures not being touched. I like you where you don't have to cut the 4x6 pictures. That's what I mean by not being touched. You know, people that purchase your albums, or if you are going to give it to somebody that is maybe not crafty, but, you know, they love the picture albums. If they have to do a lot of cutting and stuff, do you really think they're going to use that album? If they can just take their 4x6 and stick it in a pocket, okay? They can take their 4x6 and slide it in here. Now, yes, they'll have to cut them down for that, but, you know, there's certain times that, and they can just leave it if they don't want to put any 4x6s on there. And we'll have a nice big tag in this belly band. We've got that done. We've got that done. Now I've got this here. No. Let's see. This one goes here. Yes. And it is not inked. I am so sorry. So basically the rest of this is just figuring out some paper and sticking it down. I believe I have enough pockets and goodies. So I might just show you, because this video is long enough, next time I come back, what other papers I picked. And if there was anything else that I did that was really super interesting. Well, of course, everything I do is really super interesting, right? Oh, if it's not, I just chat a lot. Okay, so basically I got to pick a piece here and a piece here. But, and that is probably all I'm going to do. And that holds it all together. Ain't it nice? Yeah. And then that. Yes. Very good. Very good. Oh. Okay, guys. Thanks so much for watching. And I'll show you how I finish this off. And we'll start the back and the next page next time I come back to you. Bye. Give me some thumbs up if you like it. Leave me a comment and let me know what you think. And because I love hearing from you, and I read all of them and I answer all of them, or at least you get a heart. Talk to you later. Bye.